Good afternoon. Today we're going to walk through how to duplicate our My Academic OS system by templation into your own Notion, what it's for, how to create new records, how to customize it, and much more. Let's start with how to duplicate this system into your Notion account. First of all, after your purchase, you will get access to a link to this page. Here you can see the template version selection based on your market. There are versions for the European market, as well as the US, Canada, Australia, the United Kingdom, and Singapore. Each market also has two versions of the template, a filled one and a clean one. The filled version is there for you to explore as an example of what everything looks like in a normal day-to-day state. The second version is for those who want to start fresh with a ready-to-use, completely clean system from the very beginning. So to download either of them, simply click on it. Then go to the top right corner of the page and click on the duplicate icon. This will take you to the Notion page in your browser. You may be asked to log into your account. If so, go ahead and do that. But if you're already logged in, simply select the workspace where you want to add this system and click the Add to Private button. After that, just wait a moment, and in the left side navigation panel of your account, you will see the My Academic OS system ready to go. Using the already filled-in template, I'll walk you through the full system, covering all the pages and everything that makes it up: courses, topics, lectures, professors, tasks, and assignments. As you can see, I currently have the dark theme set in Notion, but it can also be switched to light. Let's start by going through the main page. There are quite a few different blocks here and the page is fairly long, but let's begin from the very top. We have a clock widget that adapts to your Notion theme. You can switch it between light and dark mode. To the right of it is the list of active courses that are currently running this semester. And to the right of those is the personal information block, which includes your program name, your student ID, and your group number. This block varies from market to market depending on how university systems are structured in different regions. If we scroll a little further down, we'll see the Quick Actions block. Here you can add a new lecture, a new task, a new assignment, a new topic, and a new course, all in just one click. Right next to it on the right side is the Pomodoro Timer widget. You can customize its design. There are 5 available styles that all look really great. You can choose the classic Pomodoro mode for 25 minutes, a short break for 5 minutes, or a long break timer for 10 minutes. Continuing down on the left side, you'll find the Spotify Music widget. It's a wonderful addition to this template and lets you see your favorite playlists right there on the page, which you can also swap out using the Replace button. There's also a task block for the current week. It can be filtered in different ways: a regular list, a list sorted by progress and task status, and a calendar view where you can see exactly when each task is scheduled. You can also mark tasks as done with a simple click right here. To the right of this block is a list of recent topics that you've created or worked with. I'll go through everything in detail a bit later, but for now let's move to the left to the navigation block. Here you can find navigation to other pages as well as databases. They're also available in a compact format for quick and easy access to each one individually. To the right of this section, there is also an assignments section for this week, which can be further sorted by date and status. Here you can select the assignment type, course affiliation, grade weight, and the grade itself, as well as keep track of deadlines. A little further down, you'll see a beautiful GIF that adds a really warm and cozy vibe to the design. It's an adorable little cat. Just below it is a block where you can jot down any thoughts throughout the day. And to the right is a block with lectures and notes from those lectures for the current week, which you can sort by date and by course. At the very bottom of all of this is one large widget that adapts to both dark and light themes. It shows you the progress of the current day, week, month, and year. To the right of it, you can set your own personal goals and targets, things you want to accomplish this week, this semester, or this year. It's incredibly useful for anyone who truly believes in discipline and intentional goal setting. And right at the bottom of everything is the master calendar, which displays all your assignments, all your tasks, and all your lecture notes in one place. You can also browse through different months using the arrows in the top right corner. Now let's move on to the actual pages of this template. There are 3 main pages in total. What we're looking at right now is the main page. We need to find the navigation block, and here at the top we can see 2 pages, design and databases. If we click on design, we'll see 3 beautiful GIFs that you can set as your banner. These are ready-made presets for those who don't want to spend time searching for the right image. You can instantly apply a polished, pre-designed look to your system. And it's incredibly easy to do. Just click the Change button here, then click File, and select the image or GIF you want from your files. The next page is a list of absolutely all the databases and records that exist within this system. Think of it as the back end of the template. Everything related to your university activity will be right here. But you can also view each of these databases separately by heading back to the main page, finding them in the navigation block: courses, topics, lectures, professors, tasks, and assignments. You can click on each one and explore them. For example, in courses, there is also sorting by filters, the full list by status and by semester. Now, in order to create different new records for us, I will use a system that is already ready to use from a blank sheet. Let's start with the courses. To create a course, you can do it either by this button, or you can do it in fast format by one button, which will immediately open the desired page. And this button is called a new course in the fast action block. Click and you see a large functionality of this course opens up for us. Here, for example, we will make this course mathematics. Select semesters. Well, for example, it will be semesters 4 and 5. Select the number of ECTS points. For other markets, it will be other points relative to their university system. Well, for example, let's put 12 points. Let's put the status in progress active. This does not need to be changed because this is an automatic formula. This is how it looks. Next, let's put 80 points, that is, 80% of the desired rating, for example. And we also have an automatic calculation of the current rating relative to any assignments applied to this course. I can also select an icon here. Well, for example, this one, and add a beautiful banner. I will add an unsplash banner, I will write mathematics, and there will be a different list of photos that I can add. Well, I'll add this photo. Now I'll get out of here, and there is already a finished course. Now it needs to be filled in. To make any record in this course, you can do it in two ways. Either fill it internally in the course, or create it in the block of quick actions in the main page. And by the way, our course has appeared in the Active Courses section on the main page now. So to create a new assignment, let's, for example, create it in the course. Click New. It opened as a window, open to the full. Write the name. For example, we need to write an online test. It already belongs to this course, so you don't need to manually select it. Status, well, let it be planned. That is, planned for some specific date. For example, I'll set myself a deadline until Friday. And now the automatic formula calculates how many days are left before this deadline. I can also, when I already get an assessment on this assignment, write it down here, and also write down the weight of this assessment. Well, for example, it will be 15%. And this will give us the opportunity to see the automatic calculation of the assessment of the current one on this course. And choose the type. This is our test. Next, I can also create an icon. For example, there will be books. And create a banner. Let's put a book banner here too. I go down and see the functionality of 3 blocks here. First, you can add steps here. Steps that I will take for this online test. Well, for example, go to your account in Moodle. Next, open the test, and after I do it, look at the answers. After I take these steps, I can note that they are ready. Well, in the notes, write, for example, that I am not very satisfied with these results. And write that when we have already done completed, the assessment is, for example, 40%. But before we did it, we could have some additional files that we could add here either with a file or a link. We can also add a video here either with a file or a link, and some page in the browser. Let's choose in progress so that it is displayed in all pages. And let's go back to the main page. And now we will see that according to mathematics, there is now an average rating of 40%. The list of assignments now also has an online test that can be viewed by filters. Let's go back to mathematics. We also see this test here. Well, for example, today we had a lesson on mathematics, and write, for example, matrices. Today is the 6th. I can also set the time. Well, for example, you can choose any format hour of the day. For this lesson, I have a function from 3 blocks which will be expanded later. I'll show you how. Here you can choose the type of this record, that is, either text or whiteboard, which is our custom system. This is a custom code so that you can use this whiteboard. You can change the theme to a dark mode. You can use a brush, eraser, or delete completely what is written. For example, I will write the opening of the matrix. Well, here it is. Now click on Save and just hold this photo and transfer it to the bottom block Saved. Saved photos from this whiteboard. And when we want to draw something new, click on the New Canvas button. Go down, here it is saved. It can be adjusted relative to the size. There is a whole crop functionality, save the button, and that's it. Now you can also add some summing points here. For example, I learned matrices. Great. And below is a block of useful information for this lesson. For example, if the professor gives additional files or presentations, they can be added here. Go back to the course math page, and we can see that matrices appeared in the lesson list. And we can also add a new topic to store all the topics in math. Add it, open to the full. Here a similar functionality opens with a choice of type of writing, structure, references, but a block with lessons is added that can be linked here. For example, the topic will be matrices, and here you can add the lesson that we had, matrices. And you can do it this way. Go to the lesson, open Properties, and in the topic field choose matrices. Now the list of lessons of this topic will include this lesson. And here you can quickly go to the right lesson when there will be a lot of them. You can also add an icon, add a banner, and choose the preparedness level for this topic. It remains to see how to create a task, and the task can be done easily. In the Quick Actions navigation, you find the New Task button. Click. Choose the name of the task, for example, buy new pens. Choose the time, choose the date, for example, it will be the 9th. Choose the icon of the pen for convenience. And you can also use steps, notes, and references, for example, a link to the shopping page in the store. And now it will be indicated in the general list of tasks for this week. It can be selected like this, and it disappears. This means that you have done it. Also, if we look at the status display, you will see that it is checked. It means that it was done. Well, you can also look at the calendar, it is also there. Thus we added basic notes. You can also specify personal information. To do that, go to the main page and in the personal information block, fill in the name of the program, for example, data science. My name is Laura. Student ID will be 88,720, and the group is 3019D. In different markets, there is also a different personalization of information relative to the university system. Thus we have almost everything ready for full use, and for this you also need to make goals. For example, to write a goal for this week, I would choose such topics as to update your study equipment and to meet new people. Let's move on to the goals for this semester, for example, to read a book and to pass 2 courses. And for the year, we can set such goals as to perform research in matrices and to fully learn the JavaScript language. To create a professor record and get quick access to their information like their office hours or contact details, open the course, go into Properties and add the course code if there is one, for example 2388. Then add the professor. If they haven't been added yet, we can go to the professors section and create a new entry. For example, Max Johnson. His email is mjohnson@gmail.com, his office is room 377, and his working hours are from 10:00 to 19:00. And now, whenever I open mathematics and see that Professor Max Johnson is listed there, I can simply click on his name and instantly see all of his contact details, the course he's linked to, his office hours, and his room number. After these steps, you can be sure that you are ready to use this system. And now you know what, how, and where to create.